Hello everyone, this is Agent Russ and welcome back to the channel. In the last few episodes, we added a lot of important combat systems. Enemies can now chase and attack the player, die and respawn, drop loot, and even receive status effects like poison. But right now, our enemy setup is too hard-coded. In this episode, we are going to make the enemies data-driven. Instead of manually configuring the hostile dummy inside the factory, we will create enemy database and a reusable enemy factory. That way we can spawn different enemy variants from data, like basic grunt, a fast enemy, a tank enemy, and a poison enemy. This is a big step toward making the engine scalable, because new enemy types will mostly become data, not new systems. Under the component folder, we are going to create a new file, and we are going to call this file EnemyType.js. This component simply remembers the enemy type ID. For example, an entity might be a Grunt dummy, Swift dummy, or Venom dummy. Right now, this is mostly useful for debugging, but later it can help with spawning, saving, enemy-specific logic, and editor tools. Next, we need to create an enemy database. Under the data folder, we are going to create a new file, and we are going to call this file EnemyDatabase.js. Inside this file, we create Grunt dummy with the following settings. So it has ID, name, color, health, visual, stats, AI, respawn, target ring, and loot. After the Grunt dummy, we're going to have the same thing for Swift dummy, and these are the settings for that. Then we are going to create the tank dummy, and these are the settings for that. Notice each enemy will drop different items. So for example, this one drops guardian armor, chain vest, and leather armor, and coin. And if we scroll down for the Venom, it will have status on attack effect, and the loot is going to be potion, iron sword, gem, and coin. And if we scroll up, we can see Swift dummy only drops coin, potion, gem, and Grunt dummy, it will drop coin, potion, and bronze sword. You can change these settings as you like. This is the main data file for the episode. Each enemy type now has its own configuration. We can control its health, color, size, stats, AI behavior, respawn timing, target ring size, and loot table. The Venom enemy also has a status on attack setting, which means it can apply poison to the player when it attacks. That's the power of making enemies data-driven. Each variant can feel different without needing a new system for every enemy. Next, we are going to go to EnemyAI.js. Inside here, we're going to add status on attack equals null inside the constructor. And where we assign the value, we're going to say this dot status on attack equals status on attack. This keeps status effects optional. Most enemies will just deal normal damage, but special enemies can now define a status effect that may be applied when they attack. That means the same EnemyAISystem can support both normal melee enemies and poison enemies. Next, we are going to go to EnemyAISystem. Inside the import, we are going to add event status apply. After that, we are going to scroll down. Right under here, we are going to say constant status equals AI dot status on attack if status question mark dot effect ID constant chance equals status dot chance question mark 1.0 if mat dot random less than or equals to chance world dot events dot emit event status apply source is E, target is player, effect ID status dot effect ID, and the rest is gonna be the same. Now enemy attacks can do more than just damage. They still emit normal damage through the existing pipeline, but they can also optionally apply a status effect. The Venom enemies uses this to apply poison to the player. This is important because we are not creating a separate poison enemy system. We are extending the data and letting the existing AI system read that data. Next, we will create a factory that builds enemies from database. Under the game folder, we are going to create a new file, and we will call this file EnemyFactory.js. This file will have the following import. After that, we are going to say export function, create enemy. It will have world, scene, type ID, and it will also have X is, let's say, 0, Y is null, Z is 0. And in here, we're going to say constant definition equals enemy database. It will have the type ID. If it's not definition, console.warn, let's say factory unknown enemy type in here, $, type ID, return null, constant visual equals definition.visual question mark empty, constant height equals visual.height question mark 2.0, constant spawn y equals y question marks height times 0.5, constant e equals world dot create entity, constant geometry equals new 3 dot cylinder geometry. We'll say visual dot radius top 0.45, visual dot radius bottom question marks 0.6, height and visual dot segments question marks 16. After the geometry, we're going to have the material. Constant material equals 3 dot mesh standard material. Color is def dot color question marks 0x8a 4a 3a. Constant mesh equals 3 dot mesh, and it will have the geometry and material. Mesh dot position dot set x spawn y and z. Mesh dot cast shadow equals true. Mesh dot receive shadow equals true. Scene dot add, and we are going to add the mesh. And after this, we're going to add the components. So we're going to add the transform mesh enemy type, name, health, status effect, hit flash, health bar visibility, base stats, final stats, enemy AI. After that, we're going to say constant respawn equals definition.respawn question marks, otherwise empty. Then we will add the enemy respawn, and these are the values for the respawn. Then we're going to add the target ring. Then we're going to add the target ring anchor. And finally, we're going to add the enemy loot. This factory is the big payoff of the episode. Instead of building each hostile enemy manually, we now look up the enemy definition from EnemyDatabase. The factory creates the mesh, adds health, stats, AI, respawn, loot, status effects, hit flash, health bar visibility, and target ring data. That means every enemy variant goes through the same setup path. If we want a new enemy, we add a new enemy entry to database instead of copying the factory code. Now we can replace the hard-coded hostile dummy with data-driven enemies. Let's go to test level factory. First, we are going to add the import. It's going to be create enemy from EnemyFactory. After that, we are going to scroll down. Where we have the hostile dummy, let's get rid of this. Instead, we are going to say create enemy, and it's going to be Grunt, Swift, Tank, and Venom dummy. And these are the settings for that. We can also move the training dummies a bit further away. So for this, let's say -6, 1, and 12, and this can be 6. Now let's go ahead and save it. And let's open up our console. The error says mesh standard material cannot be invoked without new. Looks like we forgot the keyword new. So let's go back to EnemyFactory, line 46, and this is going to be new. And it's also line 50. It's going to be new as well. Let's save again. Now let's turn around and we can see the enemy is spawned. Before we test it, one thing I want to change is inside the enemy database, I want to increase the Venom dummy damage to something like, let's say 4. And let's go ahead and save it. Let's make the game screen bigger. So we have all the enemies. The first one is the Grunt. This is the basic enemy. And this is the Swift enemy. So Grunt, it does -2 damage. And it takes -6 damage with our F attack. Now let's test the Swift dummy. It's going to run faster than Grunt. And it does 1 damage. We also do -6 damage. And let's try the Venom dummy. It has 55 health. It does -2 damage, and it has a 45% chance to do poison. So let's try again. So -2, and it had -1 poison attack. Let's try again. So this time it didn't trigger. It didn't trigger. Now it triggered. So it has 0.45 chance to do poison attack. And let's have a look at the tank dummy. By the way, how much damage we do to Venom dummy? -6. So tank dummy has 120 health. And we do -6 damage to that as well. One thing I notice, our attacks currently ignores the enemy's defense. To fix that, let's go back to the code. Inside stat system, we are going to remove the equipment from here, so it only applies the base stat and final stats. Right under here, we're gonna say if equipment, and we are gonna move this inside here. And let's make a comment here. Say apply equipped item modifiers only if this entity has equipment. And let's go ahead and save it. Let's go back to the game. Let's test the tank dummy. It does -5 damage, and we do -2 damage. And let's try the Venom dummy. Press F. We do -5 damage. Swift dummy. We do -6 damage. And Grunt dummy. We do -5 damage. And that's episode 42. We moved enemy setup into data and created our first enemy variants. Now the game can spawn a basic grunt, a fast enemy, a tank enemy, and a venom enemy that can apply poison. The important part is that all of these enemies still reuse the same ECS systems: AI, damage, status effects, death, respawn, loot drops, target rings, floating health bars, and damage numbers. That means we can now create new enemy types mostly by editing data instead of writing new systems. In the next episode, we can build on this by creating an encounter or wave system, so these enemy variants spawn as part of structured combat scenarios instead of just being placed manually in the test level. If this was helpful, please like the video and subscribe the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. I'm Agent Russ. See you next time.